Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Get Unstuck series. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I'm certainly having a busy one today, but all good, all good. So the Get Unstuck series is designed to help you move forward in your career in some way. So I'm Sarah Archer. If you haven't joined one of my sessions before, I'm a career and leadership coach, and I'm going live in LinkedIn and also in my Facebook group, the Love What You Do Lounge. So if you're here with me live, if you're watching, please do say hello. Do contribute through the session. Do ask questions. I'm always happy to stop and clarify or answer your query. And it's lovely to know if you are joining me that you're here. So the sessions are always very short, so about 15 minutes. And I like to give you lots of tips, tools, techniques, activities that you can take away and easily incorporate into your career thinking and practically into your day, week or month. So obviously we're talking about potential today and how to fulfill your potential. Hello, Mary. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. And I do want to flag, actually, if you are thinking of sort of 2024 in terms of your potential for then, your career potential, I am running a free career planning workshop on January the 10th, when everyone's beginning to think about what they want for the year. So if you want some help with thinking about your career plans, please do join me. I'm going to pop the link in at the end of the session. I'll pop it in the comments. So what I thought we'd kind of start off with today is just to think a little bit about what is potential, because it's kind of one of those words that we probably all have our own interpretations of it. But these are my thoughts, and I'd love to know if you've got different ones, that it's how you feel about your personal and professional growth and what opportunities you feel are available to you. And the thing I would also say about potential is that it's choosing to focus on fulfilling your potential at the time that is right for you. So we can't, in a busy life, be focusing on fulfilling our potential all the time, because it's just, it's just not feasible to do that. And also, if you think about your energy for fulfilling your potential, it's probably hard to do it all the time. If you think about seasons, the trees and plants need kind of autumn and winter in order to recharge and get ready for growth periods in spring and summer. And it's the same with your career. It's thinking about, when do I want this kind of growth period? When do I want to focus on growth and development and stretch and challenge? And when do I just want to really embed things and build my energy and, really kind of embrace what I'm kind of currently doing and really embedding it. But obviously, if you're feeling like you're stuck and you're not fulfilling your potential, then that can be really stifling. It can feel like you're suffocating, that you're bored, maybe you're plateauing. And obviously then you do really want to think about, how do I fulfill my potential? Because there's nothing worse than having that sense of being stuck. And certainly in my HR career, I made a conscious decision to take a sideways move. I moved to the Red Cross to get into the voluntary sector, which is where I wanted to be. And in that role, the team was quite hierarchical. There was kind of ceilings to what you could do. And because I'd moved sideways, I was kind of bumping up against that ceiling, and there wasn't really any way I could develop my potential there and really add value. And I felt quite stuck and not hugely motivated. And obviously I didn't stay too long. It served its purpose, but I couldn't see myself sort of staying there because I couldn't fulfill my potential. So I thought it'd be really useful to share around kind of 4 different ways you could think about to get that sense of fulfilling your potential. And like I say, you want to not necessarily feel like you've got to do all of these straight away. It's about choosing when the time's right and planning it strategically. So the first one is to explore your strengths, because it's an easy place to start, because strengths are something that we're naturally good at and that we enjoy. And, enhancing them is going to be much easier than trying to focus on something that you feel that you're not very good at. Obviously, strengths can be character strengths, or they could be technical strengths, so skills that you've developed that you're really good at and that you enjoy, so maybe project management or direct marketing or something else that's linked to your function or your specialism. And then I've got a few ideas about how you could think about enhancing your strengths in order to fulfill your potential. So you could find new ways to use your strengths. So we get stuck in a rut. We do the same things over and over again. Our brains like habits. So pushing yourself to think about how could I use this strength differently or with a different group of people can be really powerful. Or you could look at ways to teach or train, guide, mentor, coach people in your team or your function in an area that you are strong in. So they're probably going to be really grateful that you're spending time helping them to develop that particular strength. And it's going to force you to think about, okay, how do I really use this strength? How can I communicate ways you could use this effectively? So maybe you might want to run a session on strategic development or coaching or something that you're very strong in. Or you could do it in a kind of wider context in your organization. You could offer to run a webinar or maybe a lunch and learn. And again, that will push you to really think about how you use your strength and how you can communicate that effectively. Another way to think about strengths is thinking about learning from the best. So who do you know in your industry or in your organization who you feel has real mastery of the strength or the skill that you have, and thinking about how you could learn from them. So maybe that's observing them in a meeting, maybe it's interviewing them and asking them how they've developed that strength over time. Maybe it's even asking them if they would mentor you around that particular strength. So I was working with a client and we were focusing on gravitas. She really felt she wanted to have more gravitas to have more impact. And when we were talking about it, she could identify somebody that she knew who she felt just had real kind of gravitas, that they walked into a room and they just owned that room. And so she started to have this observational technique whenever she was with them. And then she did eventually start to talk to them about how they developed that strength, and just found it a really great way of reflecting on her own and what she could take from that and build authentically into her own development. So that's one area you could think about in terms of exploring your potential, is focusing on your strengths. The second one is to think about developing your risk resilience. So when you're going to be thinking about fulfilling your potential, you're probably going to be embracing activities that are going to make you step out of your comfort zone. And we all know that we find it challenging to step out of our comfort zone. So by developing your mindset now, it's going to set you up for success in terms of developing your potential. So preparing that mindset will make it easier then to take on ways that are going to stretch you. So you could start by reframing things. So if there's a challenge, you can reframe it as a learning opportunity. If you get some negative or critical feedback or constructive feedback, thinking about it as a chance to learn, not taking it personally. And you could focus on enjoying the process rather than focusing on getting to the end result. So being more mindful, more present when you are developing your potential or an area of your potential, and just recognizing the risk of the opportunity and focusing on the benefit from the activity or the experience can help you get more ready to take that risk. So for example, if you are going to ask someone to mentor you around a particular strength, recognizing that there's a chance they could say no, that there's a rejection there because they might just be too busy or have something else on, but focusing on the benefit that it will give you will just help you be brave enough to go and ask for that opportunity. And if fear does kick in, and it's likely to, just asking yourself a really great coaching question, which is, what's the worst that could happen? And that often takes away that fear, because you recognize, well, actually, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter if they say no, or I can't do it, or I fail, or whatever it might be. And then have a risk recovery plan. So recognizing, okay, if something goes wrong, I know I've got a backup plan. There's another way I can get that experience or that activity. And asking yourself, will I remember this in a year's time? The likelihood is no. Just helps you get that perspective on what's actually happening, even though in the moment it might feel really big and really important. Okay, so we've thought about exploring your strengths. We've thought about developing your risk resilience. And then the third thing is to create your own plan. So obviously you don't want to wait just for opportunities because they might not come along, or they might come along when you're not ready. So actually having a kind of career development strategy is going to be really, really useful at helping you to be really focused about your fulfillment of your potential. And again, sign up for my workshop on the 10th of January to help you with thinking about your career strategy for your career development. And within that, being really clear about your goals. So, what do you want to fulfill your potential in? So is it your sector? Do you want to be seen more as an expert in your field? Or is it in your job? Perhaps you want to be a better leader. You really want to refine your leadership skills and abilities. Or is it a particular strength that you really want to focus on? So is it, maybe I want to really enhance my emotional intelligence and I really want to focus on that. Because by being focused, you're not going to spread yourself too thinly or feel overwhelmed with it. You're really clear about what you're heading towards and why. Then thinking about how you learn best. So, are you a visual learner? Are you an audio learner? Do you like to have the theory? Do you like to be in a group? Do you like to learn on your own? Do you like it live? Do you like, time to reflect? What's your best approach to learning? And building that into your plan. And finally, and probably most importantly, is to think about how you are within your plan, how you are going to create time to focus on your potential. Because you will need to prioritize, ring fence some specific time. And I think in my live last week, I was talking about creating micro habits, so just thinking practically and realistically, how can I build this in? And when's the best time for me? If you know your job role is super, super busy at year end, you're not going to be prioritizing any professional development or personal development during that time. But if you know you have a kind of a quieter period in the summer, that might be the time you want to prioritize your potential development, because you're going to achieve it more if you're being really realistic about when you can focus on it. Okay, so we thought about exploring your strengths, developing your risk resilience, creating a plan, and the final thing is just focusing on how you can increase opportunities that are going to allow you to fulfill your potential. So two things here to think about. So one is to be open and tell people that you trust about what you're trying to achieve, so that they can also help and support you. They can look out for opportunities, they can signpost you, they can connect you, they can help you get to where you want to be. And the second thing is just to be curious. Curiosity is a brilliant strength to be engaging when you're thinking about developing your potential, talking to people, looking at different projects that are happening, thinking about possibilities, asking questions, building connections, offering support to other people, and just seeing what's emerged. You're going to have your plan with maybe certain activities highlighted, but just being curious and open to what might appear is also a great way to explore your potential. So I know there's a lot in there to think about. So I'm just going to quickly recap. So we've got, exploring your strengths, thinking about ways you can do that differently. You can teach or share your expertise. You can learn from the best. Then we've got developing your risk resilience. So really thinking about preparing your mindset to be open to stepping out of your comfort zone. Then we've got creating a plan. So you're really clear about what area of your potential you want to fulfill, whether it's your in your sector, in your job, or a particular strength or skill that you want to develop. And we've got increasing opportunities and being really curious and being open to telling people what you want to achieve. So I would love to know how you get on. What you decide for 2024 is going to be, on your list of things that you want to try out to fulfill your potential. And, do join me on the 10th of January for my career planning workshop, which is free. The link will be posted later. And, or let me know, message me and let me know how you get on, what you decide to choose to try out to fulfill your potential. Thank you for joining me. There's going to be a little break in the lives now until the 10th, when I'll be doing a live at lunchtime and also running the workshop in the evening. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to say have a fantastic holiday season, and I look forward to engaging with you in 2024.